everybody. Welcome to my booth. I'm Jay. This one's from Luca. Luca's got a commercial demo here, and they're curious how to improve bookability, aren't we all? Luca and I worked together a little bit in the past, so this may be a little outdated, Luca. My apologies. But for the rest of you, hopefully this is helpful. And before we dive in, if you'd like me to review audio just like this of yours, there's a form in the description of the video here. Just fill it out, send me something, and we'll do one of these ASAP. There's also coaching on my website, which Luca's already done. So if you want to be like Luca, you can join me over there. Let's speaking of Luca, listen to what we can.
At the Oslo Freedom Forum, immerse yourself in the riveting narratives of frontline freedom defenders who are boldly challenging tyranny. The Oslo Freedom Forum won't just change the way you see the issues, but provide you with tools to create a more just and free world. It's a journey of intimate workshops, spontaneous discussions, and lifetime connections forged.
Okay, so already you're very much, there are a lot of things that I'm really liking. Obviously, you're just a positive person. We get the sense that you're really good, you got a good smile, we can tell. And so that's definitely a benefit, and we can hear that here. My instinct with this ad is, firstly, I don't know that the music matches, and I'll get to that in a second. Well, really, it just comes down to the context of what I'm hearing. Maybe it's a directorial choice or a creative choice that I would just do something different than maybe you would. So take it with a grain of salt there, but I'll talk a bit more about it as we break this down. But my big thought here is there are a little bit of imaginative exercises where I feel like you could go further in grounding yourself in what is actually being said and what the things you're saying really mean. Well, let's just listen to it and I'll break it down.
At the Oslo Freedom Forum, immerse yourself in the riveting narratives of frontline freedom defenders who are boldly challenging tyranny.
So what I'm saying in the sense of like grounding it, I also like to think of ways in which whenever you get a script, opportunities for change and shifting things, however subtle or minimal, are great opportunities to take more often than not. And so this first ad, both by virtue of, I think, your imaginative experience of what you're saying is a little bit surface level at the moment, and you can just go a little bit deeper, but also it sounds fairly consistent all the way through, a little bit one note, to where when I'm listening to it, I get that the music has this sort of bop to it, and I get that it is like sort of a corporate conference experience. But beyond that, I'm not really understanding what is being offered. And so case in point, in this first section, looking for opportunities for change and to engage that imagination.
At the Oslo Freedom Forum, immerse yourself in the riveting narratives of frontline freedom defenders who are boldly challenging tyranny.
So you're introducing us to this Oslo Freedom Forum, and then that you can not only immerse yourself in like what all this is about, but you also get to see what the people who are actually fighting against tyranny and for freedom are actually doing. So you can sort of set up like a cascade there where it's like, this is the place where you can do this and immerse yourself in this way and actually get to know the people who do this. So already there, I've done sort of this level. You can come up here and to this freedom forum, and then you can immerse yourself here and then really get in the weeds with the people who are actually doing it. Let's listen to the next bit.
The Oslo Freedom Forum won't just change the way you see the issues, but provide you with tools to create a more just and free world.
Same thing there where you're going, this is the place right here, the Oslo Freedom Forum. We're not only going to teach you this stuff, we're not just going to show you this, but you're going to get to immerse in these ways and actually engage in your own way with fighting tyranny and for freedom, which, you know, is a pretty exciting prospect, I would imagine, for folks who are curious about this conference. Let's listen to the last
It's a
bit.
journey of intimate workshops, spontaneous discussions, and lifetime connections forged.
And there too, you do a great job with the list thing. I always talk about the list on your fingers. These classes, spontaneous discussions, and relationships forged. But as I've said with the beginning couple bits, take us on a bit of a journey. There's this journey of classes that you can take, and really imagine in your mind what it would be like to take these classes. What are the classes about? You don't have to demonstrate for us. You don't have to showcase. Demonstrate these classes. Go on a journey of all these classes. No, just in your mind, imagine sitting in the classroom, watching these people who are experts in their field, fighting for justice and tyranny, and you're a part of it. And that's really exciting. And that not latent, but that sort of internalized excitement that you generate by your imagination there will translate. So you've got the classes, spontaneous discussions, and relationships that'll go on forever. That's not a line reading, but that's just an idea of how you can increase the number of changes that you're demonstrating or providing, the journey you're taking us on, etc. Let's listen to the next spot.
Life puts you through your paces, and that's why Sound Credit Union is all about helping members stay on firm financial footing through ups and downs, big steps, and the tiniest ones.
Yeah, that one is much more so, based off of the stuff I just said, on the right track. But I think you can go a little bit further. There's a little bit here of me being somewhat suspicious that you are not engaging your imagination as much as you could. Let's put it that way. Case in point, this little last bit, well, the ups and downs, I like that you did the ups and downs, but what are the ups and downs? What are the credit?
Stay on firm
financial footing. We're helping our community really ensure that they're firmly financially secure. They're not going to be on shifting ground. We're going to be with you through the ups, the moments that you celebrate, and use your imagination in those moments to imagine the things that you would celebrate. A first home, a new car, the typical stuff that, banks want people to be able to do with the money, blah, blah, blah. But it could also be, all the other stuff, and then the downs. What happened there? What is the thing in your mind that would be a financial burden, a health crisis, etc.? Don't want to get too dark. Tree falls on your house, yada, yada, yada. The ups and the downs. Have something in your imagination when you're saying those things to really ground it. Sometimes with ads like this, they'll provide you with a script that has the context of things in it, and really, really take the time to read those, because that'll help you imagine what you're actually narrating over. And then these last couple lines,
big steps and the tiniest ones.
You're in the right direction again, but I still am suspicious that you're not actually imagining or seeing the little steps. Who's taking the little steps? And where are they taking the little steps? Are they a little girl standing up on the carpet for the first time, walking across to their parent, and how exciting that is for everyone involved? Or is it someone in the backyard chasing a butterfly? Or is it a little chihuahua that you're playing fetch? Whatever it is, whatever works for you and engages those heartstrings a little bit. Yeah, I think that those little imaginative exercises will be really, really valuable for you.
While restaurants were making chicken fries, or rings, or whatever, Hector was taking his time, marinating and slow cooking chicken.
So this is one where I don't know why, because I could completely or pretty much understand you in the first couple, and I've listened to this before, but this, I cannot understand what you're saying. And I think part of it is you're competing with the music, but part of it also is you're kind of going for this mode of speech, which for some reason just isn't registering for me.
While restaurants were making chicken fries.
I think also there's some processing going on there in your voiceover. So with this one, my critique here would be more technical, in that it would be a marriage of the technical as well as the imaginative stuff, because this, you're definitely playing to some sort of performance idea, which I don't think is a bad direction to go with it, having this sort of, flowy, sensual, especially when you're talking about food and that's it's a common thing to happen. I would just be careful that you're not processing it in a way, because it's difficult for me to understand here. Yeah, I could give more specific notes, but the music's making it hard for me to pick out exactly what is happening. So, Luca, if you'd like to send me this without the music, I'd be happy to provide exact feedback. Let's listen to the last one.
The all-new Motivo 365 tire delivers dependable driving performance 365 days a year. With impressive traction for dry, wet, and snow conditions, you'll master the elements with ease.
Yeah, so that last bit here.
You'll master the elements with
That's running into the same thing in this spot where it just gets a little muddy. So it could be an EQ thing, in which I've many EQ videos, but usually from about 300 to 600 hertz in your audio. For a lot of folks, particularly in small booths, there will be a bit of a resonance buildup and mud going on. So you could just chunk that out a bit like that, and it should help there. Now, with this one, there's one line that I'll touch on.
365 days a year.
This could be, I don't have an issue necessarily with how you said this, because I think it's totally fine. But there is something to be said when people put a lot of mustard on it and they're like 365 days a year. Sometimes that can lead you to be like, you're not really talking to me. You're kind of upselling me here. And so you can just make it sort of nonchalant, but be proud of the fact that we do this 365 days a year. So it's a very subtle difference there, but to articulate it more simply, it would be if I'm proud of the fact that we're open every day a year, and I've got a little bit of swagger to my delivery of that 365 days a year. I'm still directing it, and I'm not sort of just like saying it to the universe in a way that has swagger. 365 days a year versus 365 days a year. You got to direct it at the person and be proud of the fact that we're here to serve you 365 days a year. So that little sort of difference of taking it generally to the universe versus to a specific person who needs this tire change, whatever it may be, is a really important one. So again, Luca, really lovely work. And to summarize things once again, imagination, really key into a imagined world experience that you're thinking of. And I can't remember my other notes at the moment, but take it to an individual person, imagination. Oh, and listen for moments of potential change that you could throw in there, just to add some interest. Don't force it, but just add interest when and where you can. I hope this is helpful for you, and until the next one of these, everybody, be well, and I'll see you there. Toodles.